The Frank Reich era is over in Indianapolis. Sunday's dismal loss to the Patriots turned out to be the final straw and his last game as head coach of the Colts. Frank Reich fired. Good evening to you at 5 o'clock. I'm Mark Mullins.
And I'm Nicole Griffin. It was a simple announcement just before noon. The Indianapolis Colts today have parted ways with head coach Frank Reich.
And then just as that was sinking in, the Colts made another stunning announcement naming former center Jeff Saturday as interim head coach. The Colts are set to hold a news conference at 7:30 tonight that you can watch live here on WRTV.
Brad Brown joins us live from the Colts complex right now. Hey, Brad, what a day.
Mark and Nicole, things move very quickly in the National Football League. We're not just talking about the players on the field. Between the fired email and the hired email from the Colts today, 70 minutes passed, and the torch was passed from Frank Reich to interim coach Jeff Saturday, who, as you said, we will meet here officially later this evening at 7:30. But this season that has been so tumultuous from the very start and a bumpy ride in so many ways, criticism from fans all over the place from that opening tie to the couple of miserable losses, really came to an end yesterday with that 26-3 loss at New England in Frank Reich's final game after 4.5 seasons here as the Colts head coach. He'll finish with a record of 40, 33, and 1 over the course of his 4+ seasons. And this season was marked, of course, by so many changes with Matt Ryan coming in at quarterback, the Colts dealing with some injuries to big names like Jonathan Taylor and Shaquille Leonard. And over the course of the past 2 Mondays, it was Ryan out as quarterback, Sam Ehlinger in. Last Monday, Marcus Brady out as offensive coordinator. And Reich talked over the course of these past 7 days about taking over the offense. It's all on me. He owned up to the fact that the offense was just not good at all in yesterday's game at New England. And afterwards, sounded like a coach who knew that perhaps his time was nearing an end here in Indy.
Shoot, I've been doing this a long time, and I've been through some rough seasons before as a player and as a coach. And I believe there's answers out there. I mean, that's why as coaches and players, we do what we do. And you always have to. The competitor in you knows that there's answers. The competitor in you knows that it's not that far off. So you keep fighting and scratching.
Not that far off was the mantra we had all season. Of course, here's a look at Reich's time with the Colts. Went to the playoffs a couple of times, including that first season back in 2018. Slow starts to this team were something that really was part of Reich's tenure from the very beginning. And again, we've seen that with this 3-5-1 mark this season. And ultimately, this big loss on Sunday was just too much. The discussions had this morning, and Frank Reich done after 4.5 seasons here as head coach of the Indianapolis Colts. And see where it goes forward. Now, of course, the big announcement being that Jeff Saturday is up next. There will be a ton of questions that come about this evening as just how that came up. We'll have more on Jeff, more on where the Colts are going forward as the evening continues. Mark and Nicole, certainly not the kind of thing the Colts often do. It's been a quarter century since a midseason coaching change. Whether or not this is the answer to their problems remains to be seen.
Yeah, it has been quite a Monday here, a whirlwind for a lot of the fans that are weighing in on this. You know, Brad, the Colts had several options already on the staff to be the interim head coach. So why do you think they went with Jeff Saturday instead in all of this?
Yeah, they really had guys like Gus Bradley and John Fox who've been head coaches before. I really think this was a matter that the Colts just wanted a clean, fresh opportunity with this new head coach. Jeff Saturday, zero experience as a coach at the college or NFL level, of course, but he is a guy who is still very much loved and respected within this organization, brings some fresh perspective to this, brings some fresh mindset to it as well, and I think the kind of guy that can really rally the troops, so to speak, that this locker room can get behind. And clearly, as we've seen, the fans still love 63, still love Jeff Saturday. Whether he can kind of make it happen by the time we turn around here in 6 days' time and have the Colts' very next game remains to be seen, but it feels just like something fresh right off the top as this second half of the season gets underway.
And we do know Jeff Saturday has that connection with the fans. Brad Brown live for us tonight. Brad, we'll see you in a little bit, and again at 6 o'clock.
So how are Colts fans taking the news? We continue our team coverage with WRTV's Rachel Wilkerson live outside of Lucas Oil Stadium tonight. And Rachel, were the fans surprised? What are you hearing?
Nicole, fans I've spoken with today were surprised with the decision to go with Jeff Saturday, but the main message from Colts fans was something had to happen. Many were frustrated with yesterday's loss. They're hoping Coach Saturday can bring some energy back to this team. Fans continue to bring up the fact that Coach Saturday played in the era of Peyton Manning, and that excites them. Several people walking downtown today, along with the founder of the Indy Blue Crew, told me while they believe this change was needed, they're waiting to see how the rest of the season plays out.
Jeff Saturday, that's kind of a shocker there. You know, he's a heck of a guy, very knowledgeable about football and been around a long time in the Colts organization. So you just hope it's not setting him up for something bad. You know, you only want good for him, and he's taking over something that's going to be tough.
What momentum do you think he'll bring?
He'll bring people back in the stands. I mean, some of the people that are upset.
Is this something that the Colts needed?
Yes.
Why?
Yes. Why? Because it doesn't seem like they're physical up front or anything like that.
Fans are optimistic about the rest of the season. Now the Colts are on the road against the Raiders this Sunday. Reporting live from Lucas Oil Stadium, I'm Rachel Wilkerson, WRTV.
Rachel, thank you. And our coverage will continue live at 7:30 here on WRTV and streaming on our Facebook page. That is when we will hear more about this leadership shakeup from owner Jim Irsay, GM Chris Ballard, and new interim coach Jeff Saturday. You can also find the latest right now at WRTV.com.
And we want to know what you think about the Colts naming Jeff Saturday as interim coach. You can go online right now and take part in our interactive poll. WRTV.com/vote now. We're using a sliding bar to record your vote there. And right now, most people who have voted thinks that this is a good choice.